absentee father, right?
Here,
And then
present.
What was your father like?
Still married.
Wow.
Just met him. Really nice guy.
And Jared, your father? Oh.
Don't know him, but for a different reason. I have 2 moms. So I was born through artificial insemination.
What? That is the coolest thing ever. Say more.
Say more? Well,
Yeah.
my father's name is CB270.
Nice.
Elon.
Has a nice ring to it.
He was an extra in Star Wars.
Yeah. He was like the droid right next to 3PO, you know, when they were picking him off the ship.
Sounds like a radio call. I'm CB270.
And this has been Good Morning America. I just like, my mom went in and she was just like, I want to have a kid. I'm a gay single woman, you know, but I don't want to be with a man. And then she's like, pump me up. This guy sounds good. And 7 tries later, here I am.
Wow. It took 7 tries?
Yeah.
I think it's funny that I've said this before, that if your mom's credit card would have been declined that day, you wouldn't be here, and she has a receipt. She took you back like a CVS receipt.
There's a 30-day guarantee, for a return policy.
She should have taken it back.
Are your moms still together?
Yeah, well, so my mom's wife now got married on my birthday when I was like 14 or 15.
That's a little bitchy.
No, it was my idea.
That's
it was
a
my
great
idea.
point.
That's a little bitchy.
It would have been if it wasn't my idea.
But you're
Okay.
also like 6 years old. Like, what if you guys got in love on the day that I was born? They're like, hell yeah, I don't have to celebrate your birthday ever again. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Basically, so they really took advantage of me, to be honest. But anyway, let's talk about your absentee father.
When you say 7 times, what does that mean? The guy they picked him out of a book.
Yeah, so literally they had a catalog. There's no pictures. It was all just like descriptions of these guys, like their height, weight, background. And then they had like a little questionnaire being like, why do you want to do this? What are your hobbies? Blah, blah, blah. And my mom was going between these 2 guys, and the nurse comes up. She like looks down. She's like, okay, I'm not supposed to do this, but CB270 is an absolute sweetheart. We love when he comes in. And then like my mom made up her mind right then and there.
And your mom was like, yeah, but is he hot?
But like just slide a little
Obviously,
picture.
yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, so and then the 7 times it was just like, you know, it was artificial insemination. So they like had his sperm frozen, and then it just didn't take for 6 times in a row. And then she just like kept going back. She's
That's
like,
expensive.
It is expensive.
It's very, very expensive.
It wasn't worth it though.
But here's the funny thing. So my mom saw the podcast where Zach originally made the joke about getting her credit card declined, and she's like, "Oh, well, so actually." The time that you took, they thought I was going to need like 2 sessions. So they never charged me for the first session where you actually took. And so I'm technically stolen property.
And besides your inability to get into heaven, like this is like, it's so great that you're here.
Kidnapping.
But that is my mom and dad hooked up, and my dad had a whole other family, and just like a very well-timed
Nice.
6-hour separation.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and my mom was 42, my dad was 62. So
When you were conceived?
yeah, some call me a mistake. I just say surprise. You know?
Your dad was 62 and still shooting
That's
out rounds,
Yeah,
live
he was
rounds
getting Medicare and chicks pregnant.
on that AARP plan.
Oh, IHOP was always half price. It's really, I don't know. I do have a bone to pick with you, Josh, because, well, a couple things I'm going to bring up, just rapid fire. The first thing that comes to mind is I feel like without having a father, it really helped you in your career because you had trauma to work off of to be the center of attention and really expand your career. And I don't know, it's just a
The
little
comedy too. The trauma helps.
Yeah. It's just a little selfish that you're still in your son's life and knowing because now he'll never have the opportunity to be as great as you career wise. So are you thinking of leaving or?
I think that's a really fair point.
Yeah.
And I do worry that in an effort to be the opposite of my father to my beautiful son, Max, that I'm making him a little soft
Yeah.
and a little helpless. Like, I need to give him a little moxie. Sometimes I just scream him to wake in the morning. You know?
Just shake him.
Yeah. Or like I'll put like traps around the house, like a reverse Home Alone style. Just like keep him on his toes because he's gonna have to learn that the world is hard.
Yeah. But dad's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust me, dad's the safe space. What's it like kind of being a father? How is it different from the rest of your life? Did it unlock a new chapter of love or not to get too deep, but also I really want to.
It's really excellent. Are you toying with the idea? Not for a while. Guys?
I recently reached out to my dad, who I don't reach out to a lot, and I sent him a little gift to, no matter what our past is, I was like, maybe we could have a relationship in the future. So I'm trying to learn some things here.
What'd you send?
I sent him some hot sauces, and like he actually like I had to call him after I got him the hot sauces, and then he still didn't answer. And then I had to call him again. He's like, "Hey, thanks so much for the hot sauces. Like, I'm gonna try them on Sunday." And then he said he's gonna let me know how they are.
The way Zach
Has it-
lights up when he talks about communication with his father is just.
And I don't want to. I'm making this about me right now because I'm almost in tears.
It is Monday, so did you?
You thought this was last Sunday? No, this was Sundays ago.
So you didn't hear?
We're Peppa.
No.
Solid. Will you give me a quick?
You're a father. Let's talk. How's
you-
breastfeeding
will-
for your wife?
Give me a quick catch up, like the 30-second catch up on the history of you and your dad, if you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Or not.
I know. I just thought we'd be interviewing you. Yeah. So this is what happened.
You
So
sort of led with it.
no. Mom, single mom, raised. Dad was in the military. Didn't see him much. My mom went through a couple divorces. You know, it was just us growing up. And then my dad, we never had that solid relationship. And then, I was like, let's just try it out now. Let's see if we can get back into it. So we're gonna see, and we're gonna keep you guys updated. And and if not, if you got a place in your family and your wife's willing, adoption's on the table for me.
Yes, happy to. And here's a nice silver lining. If you have a parent in the military, you can get a lot of benefits, like great insurance policies.
He wouldn't let me on it. He said I have to pay for my own stuff to make me more of a man.
Okay.
And every single time that I would see him, I don't want to make this about me, but this is my last thing I'm going to say. The moment I would see him every single time, because I only see him like once or twice a year, he would shave my head, military haircut, and I'd like to grow it out. So he's like, "You're going to be a real man," and he would shave it. And then the moment I saw him, like we wouldn't talk about anything really until I shaved my head. So a little bit of emotional trauma there. But movies, you've been in them. How's that going?
Sure, movies. Can you?
Okay.
Should you tattoo your scalp so the next time as he's like shaving your head?
Well, that's not going to
it's a
help
little
with
message?
me saying that I'm pro-Jew. If I do that, if I get a tattoo on the scalp with a shaved, it's just not.
You never know.
What?
That-
I said I'm against it. If you say you're against Nazis, that's so good.
It's usually always the right move.
Yeah.
Always the right
Yeah,
move.
it's usually the right. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're with a family member that we don't talk to in my family anymore.
You
But anyway,
are you are from the border of Georgia and Florida.
they get after it.
It was the first time I'd ever been exposed to something like that, and it was like,
The insurance thing that Zach was talking about reminds me. So I was reading a little bit of like the beginning of your book. It reminds me.
Don't
when
lie.
you're-
he lies.
No.
He looked up Spark Notes, but I hear you.
when
Totally okay.
Your mother took your father to court like kind of soon after you were born, like for alimony money, but then instead just paid
child support.
child support, but instead just paid a lump sum.
Well, I think that he basically once the moment that my mom told my dad that she was pregnant with me, he like turned from this slightly charming guy that she saw, once or twice a year, but really didn't even know well enough to share a sandwich with, let alone a child.
Okay.
And he just turned into like, someone she didn't know anymore.
Wow.
And so basically, like throughout that time, she was like, I went for a paternity test. It's yours. And he was like, I think you have a doctor who's a friend of yours who's on the take. And she was like, great, let's go to your doctor. And then she would show up at his doctor and basically he wouldn't even come because basically she called his bluff. So I'm born and he wants nothing to do with me. And so my mom's like, well, then it would be nice if you could support in some way.
Yeah.
They go to court and basically he like sidelines my mom and her lawyer with his lawyer and says, let's not have a paper trail here. No need to record this in the state of New York. Why don't I just give you like a lump sum that was, in the 80s, it was probably like close to $100,000, but that's not 18 years worth of taking care of a kid.
No.
And I think my mom was like, I'm not going to chase this guy for
Yeah.
the next 18 years. Took it, and that was it.
Wow.
Wow.
And then he was out.
You've never had any contact with him?
No, and he died. Dude, he really ended it on his terms.
But just once though, right?
Just once, but he really sticks to things.
Yeah, he does.
And that's admirable.
Except for you. But yeah. Which is fine.
Yeah.